this weekend we had the big premiere of TNA on AMC. Dave and I have not talked one word about this. Dave, on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the first episode?
I'll give it a 7.5 to 8.
Wow. I was going to say 6.5 to 7.
Okay. Yeah, I was a little upset with some technical difficulties I had on the app. That's what brought it down a little bit for me. There wasn't a major thing. Like, Jared, we did get AJ Styles show up, which I thought was cool. We knew that
wasn't bad for what it was.
Oh, God. What was her name? We have the new assistant GM there, Daria.
Yeah, I only knew her as Sonya Deville because I know that the name they used on screen for her is like close to her regular name.
Yeah, you know,
and I didn't hate that. That was the first segment that felt like TNA, though, where I'm like, all right, here we go.
They brought back Cora Jade as Elvira Black. I believe she wrestled in the Independent says.
I'm not mad at that either. Bringing in new talent, not bad.
Bringing in new talent. The Elegance brand is now the women's tag champs again.
That's where I draw the line with new talent. Because that also felt like a TNA segment as well.
A little goofy. You know, Mike Santana winning the title was the right move. It's the move that should have happened. So for that, you get extra points from me. So that made it a feel-good show at the end.
I got a question about that Santana thing, though.
Yeah.
If they had saved the title change for just that show, would it have been more impactful? Or did they kind of do it when they did it to build up Frankie Kazarian as this, like, not evil person, but person that you just don't like and you want to see get toppled?
They shouldn't have took the title off of Mike Santana to begin with, honestly. The Bound for Glory thing was special. And to have him just lose it a few days later was not necessary. I know why you did it. You wanted a big moment on your first episode. We could have got around that another way. You know what I mean? We could have set something else up. And
I was trying to brainstorm that. How would you have pitched, like, working around that? You know, what would you have done? Maybe a disputed finish at Bound for Glory, like a Dusty type finish where there's a lot of, like, arguing over who had the win. And then it gets settled for good on TV because, like, it just felt like a deflated moment, I feel like, on AMC.
Yeah. I mean, and I did like the end, though. They said that, you know, the winner's going to have to face the champion in an automatic rematch on Genesis for this weekend. So I thought, okay, that's good. Even though I expect Santana to win.
Yeah.
You are leading. And there's another live Impact this coming week. The way it's set up. So I think after that, they'll be taped. And then I don't know when the next live one after that would be. But there is another live one. So it is interesting. We've set up some stuff here. I thought the production was really nice. Like that crowd.
Yep. That crowd looked full. It sounded loud. They looked excited.
It looked full. It looked good. But if you're going to nitpick, you know what didn't look full or good was when they put those social media sections up or the celebrities. Those actually look kind of empty. And I'm like, why would you do that? You know, like, just, I don't know. I didn't like the way that looked. Other than
that was weird because, like, I don't know if I'm just out of touch with culture, but I was not aware of who anyone was besides Perez Hilton. And even then, I'm not familiar with him. I've heard the name around, but I couldn't tell you what they've done.
No, they were a social media influencer, and they made the comment. He was
the two guys that came out with the Hardys.
At the beginning.
I didn't know who they were either. Thank God we weren't in that spot.
Yeah,
people are watching this. Like, I don't know who these two are.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, overall, I thought a good look to the new show. There's just a few things. It's not. You know what I'm really curious about? Like, I'm not as big into the ratings as other people are and stuff like that. I don't live and die by that.
I just watch what I like. And like sometimes I'll be like, oh, that was a bum ass show, or like that was a good one.
But I am curious because I have no idea what kind of ratings to expect that like TNA would get. Because they've been on like Access TV for so long, which nobody really gets Access TV for the most part. And I think they get like 30,000 views or maybe 100 or something like that. It's nothing really. So now being major platform, but not having been on a major platform for so long, like what can they even expect to get? Like I'm kind of curious, you know, what's a win for them? is 200,000 a win for them? Is 100,000 a win for them? You know what I mean? Like if they pull in AEW numbers, even though AEW is like considered like struggled a bit, would that be like an amazing win for TNA? Like, you know what I mean? Like where are they going to be? Where do they land? And what's good for them? I'm not quite curious at this point.
I'm almost going to argue that there is no win for them. They're either going to be compared against their old numbers or they're going to be compared against WWE and AEW.
Right.
And everything's going to be deemed a failure no matter where they hit. That's just what I'm thinking. Like, if people are how they are, like, give it a chance, maybe.
Yeah.
But the moment that sunk this show the worst for me, and I'm not a fan of Carlos Silva, like, when I see him out, I'm like, oh, this is, like, why? And then he brings out Dixie Carter.
Yeah.
And to, like,
about that. I
to
forgot.
broadcast those boos through so much of that segment, and like she could not win the crowd back, like maybe slightly, but the boos were still constant. And I was like, I get kind of why you have her there. But to me, it doesn't feel like progress bringing her out in any way. Like maybe put it out on social media. But when I saw that, I'm like, oh, what are we doing here?
They would have been better served as one of those people by ringside.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Just, you know, hey, we have former President Dixie Carter here. What a moment. What does this feel like to you to see this here? Yeah. Maybe not make
I would say don't even talk to her, like show her. And then if you get there's an idea there's booze, like cut away. I did enjoy them announcing the system's new member next week. I feel like that's something to look forward to. They did some things right, but it just felt like they still TNA'd it up.
One thing I did like too also was Zarya being announced for Genesis. Yeah, and they're going to do that. And yeah, it's interesting because obviously too, you know, we're not getting Leon Slater now. So I guess maybe we'll get him on SmackDown tonight. I hope so. But Joe Henry is now going to be involved in a match with Moose and Cedric Alexander. And so I thought overall it was a good show, but yeah, a mix bag. It is funny, Joe. You said around 6.5 to 7. I would say so. I'm a little more the optimist, but yes, I think we're kind of in the same ballpark for the most part.
Yeah, it's in that same thing where like it wasn't at the cusp of like an even number. It was like just about there.
Yeah. Overall, not a home run. More like we got on base. You know. Yeah. And, we're hoping for a home run. Yeah.
Now, I heard there was a lot of visa issues. I think Santino mentioned it in the broadcast. So, like, maybe that affects things a little bit.